occasion of the 1st January 2020, the New Year Day, in the presence of the Buddha, relics, Buddhist relics, and the Venerable Mahasangha. And so, first of all, Happy New Year, everyone. And this is Happy New Year, 1st of January 2020. 2020 or 2020? So, and on this occasion, you all came to the center to do this blessing chanting and offering to welcome this new year. And this new year, we celebrate, and it's become a very new. Is it new? What is the difference between yesterday and today, and then tonight and tomorrow? What is the difference? I read one cartoon yesterday on Facebook. There are 3 Zen monks. And one Zen monk asked, I heard today is New Year Day. And then 2 monks asked, are we there yet? So, what is New Year? So New Year is basically the conventionally designed to find out that how old are we, how old we are getting. For children it's okay, getting more year and then they can become mature. For us, every year becoming painful. But yet, this year is defined and it's become a very commercialized and it's become a materialized too. And with the expansion of the global market, this new year become very standard and everyone is defining this year, this new year as the year to define that how much you have done and how much you're going to do. So it's conventionally created. But in an ultimate sense, there is no difference between today and tomorrow. But New Year is very special, particularly in Scotland. Do you know why? Because here they don't call New Year, they call Harmony Day. And here in Scotland, we celebrate more New Year more than Christmas. So that's why even Aberdeen City, so many streets closed to celebrate Christmas. The New Year. And if you go down to Edinburgh, I think some of you went, celebrating Christmas and New Year. So many streets closed, so-called Edinburgh Festival. And that's simply to celebrate New Year. It's in a grand way. But what happens? Last night, police has to work harder because everybody drunk and causes so many fights. And then this morning again, they have to chase or checking all the drivers. And this is another special. And furthermore, New Year is very special because no transport, no public transport. You cannot go here and there. In Aberdeen, there is only one bus runs. That's from airport to the city and city to airport. The rest of other buses, no. So you cannot go around all around. Offices are closed, shops are closed, school is closed. So that's why New Year is very special. But again, take this opportunity of this special. Some people will go and parties, drinking and entertainment and dancing. And then after they have drunk, they lost their mind and calling, like mindlessly, losing their shoes, losing their house, and then even forgot who they came with. So, and that's the one way. And another way, people will come to the center and do the parties. Center by party in a way, in a spiritual development, of mind development, mental cultivation. But if you come to the center, it's a boring. There's no entertainment. There's only sitting and meditating and then chanting. It's boring. It doesn't entertain our senses. So that's why we came little, we have very limited person to join. But whereas if there is a dancing and entertainment, then there will be thousands of them. And so that's simply because that entertain our senses. What the Buddha is saying here, when we entertain our senses, then the happiness we get is very limited. We will have only limited happiness that very moment. Once we left, then what happens? Sometimes we are in trouble, and other times we just in a misery and go back with tiredness. So that happiness is very limited. Whereas the coming to the center and the meditating and chanting, it gives you a longer happiness, but a slow. So we don't want to have this a slow happiness. We want to have an instant happiness, and which is instant fades away too. But the one which we will get longer happiness or long-term happiness, it takes a long time to do, and which we don't want to do much. So that's why whenever we have these chantings and things, less people. And then other place, other time, there is a party, then many people come. Okay? But anyway, this new year begins. We have to reflect upon ourselves that let just not it as just a new year. We have to think and motivate and determine that I am going to change myself to the new era for myself, new life for myself. Yesterday I was listening BBC 4, and then one of the news said that the health doctors and the top doctors of the UK is giving advice that this year try to motivate yourself to lose weight and eat healthy, live health, well-being. And to do that, give away the fatty foods. And then conscious about eating, that will save yourself, your well-being, and also savings in your family, and ultimately you are saving the national income too, national expenses too, especially the NHS. So that's another motivation given from this NHS or the high, top class, the health doctors. So that you have to think too, like what you're going to do this year. In the meantime, before you're going to that, you have to forget anything that you have done which is not beneficial, which is not making you happier. So anything that's negative, anything that upsets you, leave it. Forgive and forget. Do not take it with you. So-called Buddha also taught, atitang nanvat ngakaya. That means leave whatever passed away. Do not take it with you. And then what is coming next, as we celebrate as a new era, so bring new positive things. And you can check yourself between a right and a left, negative and a positive actions that you have committed throughout, let's say, 2019. And once you have measured between good and bad actions, suppose you have done negative action more and less committed towards the wholesome action, then you have to think, you have to make a motivation to change your behavior, and then now this year I'm going to motivate myself to commit more good things. Yeah, more good things, and then less bad things. Anything that's beneficial for me, family, and for together, I will commit myself to work on that more and more. And with that, it brings happiness to ourselves and then to the others. But obviously, you may have heard or may have sensed that modern society is running so fast. Particularly, we are bombarded with these technologies, new material things. And with these new material things, and we become a part of this production and reproduction. We become a part of this producing system. So if we are not in a part of this production, then we are not counted as a human. We are waste. So we automatically become a part of this consumerism, materialistic world. And with this materialistic world, we automatically caught up in that process. And because of we caught up in that process, what happened is we living our life very meaninglessly. Yeah, there is no taste of a living. You wake up early morning, run to the work, and then after finish work and you come back with the tiredness and eat. Even when you're eating with that work rather than you're eating food. And then you go back to sleep. So it's so meaningless, tasteless living. Right? And with that tasteless living, it's not just that. Become very isolated. And we become very detached. There is no connection between one another. We may connect from Facebook to one another. Even living together, we're just playing with the Facebooks or the social medias or Twitters and Snapchats like that, sending messages. But we do not connect with one another who are in this present moment. That causes more trouble too. That is taking away our peace. That is taking away our happiness. And with that again, what happens is everything out there is to fulfill my wish. Everything is out there for me. So we are generating this ego. Yeah? Egocentric view. We are generating that egocentric view. And day by day, this ego becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's how we create conflicts. That is belongs to me. That belongs to me. And with that, I want that, I want this. So everything should be fulfilling myself. So with that, what happened? We're generating bigger and bigger this ego within ourselves. And the conflict begins to generate within our family, within our city, or even a nationwide. That's why we have a conflict between one to another. There is a conflict between co-worker. We have a conflict between ethnic to one ethnic to another ethnic. We have a conflict with one nation to another nation. That's why we have a Brexit. It's a huge topic, Brexit going on. And then probably in a couple of years' time, or maybe 2 or 3 years' time, Scotland will ask for another referendum too. I want to have my own independence like that. So this generates more conflict. Okay? And to get away from these conflicts, what we have to generate, or what we have to develop within ourselves, what the teachings of the Buddha is learning to share. The generosity. Learning to share. And that will help. Yeah? Once we know how to learn to share a generosity or the dana, what happens? We are also generating the kindness and compassion, ability to know that they are also subject to get old, they are also subject to get sick, they are also subject to die too, as I am. So we see the commonality between one and another. With seeing this commonality, having this understanding, what happens is we have less conflict. We will have a less egocentric view, but seeing this mutual understanding of me and them. And with this understanding, what happens? The whole world becomes so peace. Whole world becomes so happy. And I look at the 2019, we have so many conflicts worldwide. Even in Sri Lanka, we had a lot of trouble, right? In France, in Thailand, in Myanmar, in the UK, so many troubles. And that's simply because of this conflict going on. And the very moment when we can come out from this egocentric view, learning to share, learning to be kind to one another, and understanding this quality, what happens? We're generating this harmony in the society. So in 2020, as we are entering the 1st of January, so we have to motivate that we may not be able to change the rest of the world, but I motivate myself to change at least of a little bit, at least of a generating this heart of a learning to share, this heart of a learning to care, and heart of understanding one another. And with this, we are promoting the peace ourselves and then to others. And then we are also developing this harmony within ourselves and then the society. So, and that is the basically teachings of the Buddha. That's why sometimes I reflect the very moment when the Buddha taught, the Buddha gave the first discourse of Dhammacakkappavattana Sutra, I would regard this as a new era began. Before that, we were just generating, and even from the history we can see that everybody is just in a conflict. Okay, everybody is in a conflict. But the very moment when the Buddha gave that discourse means Buddha is giving the middle path to find the ultimate happiness. And that's how it should be celebrated, that the Buddha's teachings is leading towards happiness. Okay, and to do that again, we obviously have to lead a moral life, okay, controlled mind, and then developing the wisdom, understanding what it is, should be. Okay? So, I bless you all. On behalf of the center, would like to thank you for all your support throughout this last year, and then looking forward for the another support as it's going on. And in the meantime, whatever your good wishes are there, may all good wishes come true. Now we have wish you all have a good health, good wealth, and successful and prosperous throughout this 2020 and the whole life. Okay, may you be happy and peaceful and successful. Thank you. So now blessings. Okay. ยะถาวาริวหาปุราปริปุเรนติสาครังเอวะเมวะอิโตตินังเปตานังอุปกัปปติอิจิตังปะจิตังตุภังคิปะเมวะสมิจฉตุสัพเพปุเรนตุสังกปะจันโทปนรสโสยะถามณิโชติรสโสยะถาสัพพิติโยวิวัจจันตสัพพะโรโควินาศมาเตภวัตวันตรายโยสุขิติกายโกภวะอภิวาทนาสิริสเนจังอุตตาปัจจายโนจัตตารโอธัมมาวัฏันติอายุวันโนสุขังภาลังตยานุภาเวนะรัตนาตยเตจะสาธุกโรคพิยาเวราโสกาสัจจุบันโตวะเนกาหันตวายาปิเวนะสันตุจเตสัตวะชัยสิทิฏฐานังลาภังสุติภาคยังสุขังบารังสิริอายุจวันโนจะบุกังอุติจยสวาสตวัสสะจะอายุจะเจวสิเทปวันตุเทปวัตตุสัพพมังคลังรักขันตุสัพพเทวตาสัพพพุทธานุภาเวนัสสะสุติภ
ภวันตุเตภวตุสัพพมังคลังรักขันตุสัพพเทวตาสัพพธรรมานุภาเวนัสตตาสุขีภวันตุเตภวตุสัพพมังคลังรักขันตุสัพพเทวตาสัพพสังฆานุภาเวนัสตตาสุขีภวันตุเต